Hello, everyone. We are live with the Criminally Mental podcast. If you're listening in, you can probably already hear Zach vaping. My name is Cody Green, or Schizophrenic Hippie.
My name's Zach Galloway, or definitely the talent in this duo.
And we really appreciate you guys joining us today. Why don't you let them know who's introducing our podcast this morning?
This is the friend of the show, the host of the VTN Network podcast, a voice that is just like butter. Here he is, the man, Dead Man.
Welcome to the Criminally Mental podcast, where we talk about mental health and the criminal justice system with your two hosts, Cody Green and Zach Galloway, currently both on parole and compassionate release. Now, here's the show.
Side note, when I die, I want that man to give my eulogy.
I would also like that. That's we talk about his voice more than we talk about anything that we say we're going to talk about.
That's a valid point.
Yeah. It's worth it though. So Zach, what did we have going on this week on TikTok?
So those of you that follow us on TikTok, you know that we kind of have a roast thing back and forth. And as you know, Cody and I, we're friends. It's a love-hate relationship. He loves me, I hate him. The funniest thing, oh my God, the funniest part about this is I've been relentless with coming after you for shit, from everything. Like, I have mocked your mental illness. I have mocked, I think, your sexuality more than once.
Oh yeah,
I think I blatantly accused you, like, in a roundabout way, of being a pedophile, and everyone was like totally cool with it. Everyone was like, "Oh yeah, get him, Zach." And then Cody says something like remotely about me being an openly gay man, and people are like, "Cancel Cody, homophobia."
Well, and that's the thing. The more I spend time with you, the more I'm willing to fire back a little bit, and I'm really starting to like get into it, and I'm having fun with it. And the minute I get into it, people were so ready to cancel me. And I think we talked about it a little bit. I think our our audiences are a little bit different, but my goodness, I did not expect people to come for me like that.
I think the people who follow both you and I are aware that, we're friends, but the people who are like solely your fans or solely my fans are like kind of a little more towards the edge. What amazes me is you have yet to ask me the question, where do I keep getting these photos?
My wife, I already saw one of the messages because we were watching a movie. She fell asleep and it came up, and you said something about thanking her for the pictures. And I was like, she's betraying me again.
The greatest part about this is I never asked her. She fell on her own volition.
I believe it. It's fun for her.
I bet it would be.
You got to realize, I've always kind of roasted her in this relationship. So now she gets to see you roast the shit out of me on TikTok, and she genuinely enjoys it.
That doesn't seem very wise, because she's a solid 10 and you're a 2 on your best day. So it's but my boyfriend also loves, he loves you roasting me. Like I told you, the first time you roasted me, he legitimately like called me up and just laughter on the phone. I didn't even know what he was laughing at. And then it occurred to me that he saw the roast.
That makes my whole day, actually. But yeah, no. So on top of that, we have something really cool going on. Also, Zach is 1 year out today. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, today is my 1 year anniversary of being released. So that's crazy to me.
Yeah, and I mean, shit, over 500,000 followers. You're doing a podcast. I'm going to take a second to stop roasting you to actually congratulate you, because I think it's super awesome. And I mean, like I said earlier, I saw your old mugshots, and where you're at now is incredible, dude. And I really do appreciate that one aspect of you. That's the only one, though.
Man, I was thinking about it earlier, and to be honest, like, I haven't cried in a long time because, unlike you, like, I'm not a bitch. But I was thinking about like a year ago, I was sitting in a release cell waiting to be released at this time. At this exact time, I was waiting to be released to go through the doors. And I was having this full on panic attack about what am I going to do? I don't even know how to be a citizen anymore. I haven't had a legal job in over a decade. Like all I know was street crime, drugs, and just looking back on that and realizing now this is what I do. This is what I do now. I actually get to talk about relevant issues. I get to meet some amazing people, you excluded, of course.
Yeah, of course.
And it's great. It's such a blessing to be able to have this life now. And I never thought that this would have been even an option for me back then. So it's crazy. It's been great.
Well, and it's really nice that people like Colin Ray paved the way for you to be successful with your content. Isn't that nice?
This is all fun and games till I smelled you with a pillow.
It would be worth it. That's all I'm saying. It would be absolutely worth it. But honestly, dude, it's really cool to, and I've been out for like 5 years now, so I remember one aspect of release day, and that's being more anxious than the day I went in, I think. And like you said, it was sitting in that release cell just being like, what's going to happen from here,
I had no idea. So I had, like, when I was getting released, I thought maybe my grandmother would pick me up. Like, maybe. Like, everything was on the edge. I was thinking, like, I'll have to get into a halfway house. I'll have to do all this shit that I don't want to do. And that's not how anything ever really turned out. My family came in through in a clutch for me and basically said, hey, you've been a dirtbag for the past, 15 years, but we forgive you. And they gave me another shot, and everything. It's just so strange. Like, when I posted that video of my mugshots, looking back on that, I can't even. It's hard for me to even associate what the feelings were going through my mind when those photos were being taken, as opposed to now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. And that's really cool that we get to have this platform now to like talk about experiences like that. Cause I mean, not just me and you have been through this, but especially in America, the criminal justice system, the mental health system, there's so much going on and people have so many individual stories. And I'm just like really appreciative that we can do this week to week. And I'm really excited for where it's going to go too.
What's crazy to me is we keep getting more and more people excited about the show and DMing us and making videos to be on the show. I mean, I've got to be honest with you. Like, I did this out of pure boredom. This always sounded like a bad idea from the start, but no, it's been great. And there's so many people who have come out with these amazing stories, and just the short interactions that we've had with them through like coordinating, getting them on the show and whatnot. It just really brings out of the woodwork these stories that have no attention to them. People don't know about them. They don't. So it's awesome to be able to give them a platform.
Absolutely. Yeah. So before we, introduce Colin here, it's really, I just, despite all of our roasts going on this week, I wanted to remind people we're still on decent enough terms that we can work with each other for an hour a week. So, I mean, that's good enough. Just take it for what it is.
I mean, I suppose. Forcibly.
All right. So we are going to be introducing the real Colin Ray here now in a second. And before we do that, we want to give a message to our sponsors. And we are going to play a quick clip from Colin. Do you have any other things you want to say quick, Zach?
Yeah, Colin Ray's a big old bag of dicks. Why don't you play the sponsors thing?
All right, here we go. This is a message from our sponsors. All right, we are back with our interview with Colin Ray, and I'm going to share my screen here for just a second.
I still can't believe he did this. He's salty about the advertisement. He's just salty about the advertisement that I made for him.
That's true. Here we go.
I'm always ready for everything, okay? The question is, are they ready, okay? I'm coming on there with Schizophrenic Hippie and Zach Galloway, okay? So if y'all don't know who they are, here's my impressions of them real quick. Hey, Colin, how you doing today? Good, Cody. How are you? I'm good, man. Who's your friends you brought with you? It's just me, Cody. And then for Zach,
This is my favorite.
how you doing today? I'm gonna tell you guys a story about the first time I made food in prison. Like, damn, bro, you gotta pick up the pace on that video. You always look so damn sad. I'm always.
It's not how I am. It's not how I am.
I love it. So without further ado, here he is, one of my really good friends and Zach's founder and the one who helped Zach pave the way to fame, Colin Ray. Thank you so much for being here, man.
What's up, guys? What's
I
up,
hate
Cody?
both of us so much right now.
You know it was funny.
This is a bad idea from the start, dog.
Listen, before I knew Zach, right, he came up on my page a couple times, then I followed him and stuff, and I'm like, he always sits in that same spot, right? And he used to always make me want to smoke, because back when I smoked cigarettes, I'd be like, oh, I need a cigarette. I'm like, he's just out here. You might as well get a brand through something. What kind of cigarettes you smoke? You might as well hit them up. Like, I got some sponsorship for y'all.
All right, I do have to tell this story, as we were talking before. I get enough of the aren't you Colin Ray, but about 2 weeks ago, I got contacted by this podcast that wanted me to be on. So I was like, cool. They call me up, we're talking, and it's just like kind of an pre-interview for the podcast. And then they asked me, like, so you live in Pennsylvania, don't you? And I'm like, no, I live in Arizona. And they're like, oh, yeah, that's weird. We thought you lived in Pennsylvania. I'm like, that's strange, but whatever. And they were talking more and more. And then they were like, you went to prison for robbery, right? And I went, that's strange. I've never been convicted of robbery, but okay, whatever. So I told them no. And then they asked me if I spelled my last name R-A-E or R-E-A. Motherfuckers thought I was Colin Ray the entire time. When I say I was heated, I was fucking heated.
That story makes me so happy. You have no idea.
That's great, though. Like, what the fuck?
See, and like that's the difference between me and you, Zach, is that like people know me for schizophrenia, whereas they confuse you because you just copy other people's content.
Actually, that's the difference between me and you, Cody, because people know me and they're still getting to know you.
Oh, damn. Okay. You got me. All right. But anyways, thank you so much for being here, Colin. We really appreciate it.
Of course, I thought that I was traveling back to today, but I was just all confused. But yeah, I'm glad to be here. Definitely appreciate it.
All right. And I think we're going to just jump right in because we did have some questions we wanted to ask you. And at the end, we're going to save a little time just for questions from people who are watching live, just because that helps us mix it up and, you know, something different. So
Of course.
I think Zach has the first question for you.
Yeah. First of all, Colin, thank you for being on the show. I know you have, you're probably really busy doing like dance videos or whatever the fuck it is you do. But the first question, the first question that we have for you, I know you've talked about what we got convicted for a lot. I know you get asked that question a lot. How do you justify being arrested for domestic terrorism?
So listen, right? I don't like the way this country is. I figured I could do it better. We had to take matters into my own hands.
No, sorry.
No, you're good.
But for real, why don't you just introduce for those of people that don't know who you are? Why don't you just give us a little rundown about at least what you want them to know about you? I mean, probably not the truth, just what you want to project.
So basically, pretty much my personality at this point boils down to my name is Colin. I'm a felon on parole. I did 7 years for robbery charges and then got big on TikTok. That's pretty much where we're at with it. You know, that's pretty much what everybody knows. That's why I have everybody going and saying robbery on everybody's videos now, because like they ask me all the time, like that's why I just put that YouTube video out. Like, okay, I will tell you all the front to back. This is what happened because everybody's so damn curious.
Why is it, Colin? Tell me why, Colin Ray, that I have people in my comments just saying robbery.
Because
explain this to me, sir.
Well, one, we are prison TikTok. That's what we are. Okay. Like people be like,
True.
Yeah, people in prison are prison TikTok, but we're prison TikTok. When people are like, oh, what prison TikTokers do you watch? Normally there's only like a couple of us. You know what I mean? There's 10 of us maybe that are semi big. You know what I mean? There's probably ones that are smaller,
Okay.
but like think about it, it's you, Justin Demented, but he does more than prison food, but he does other content than just jail. Then it's Cody, obviously, Jess, JoJo, Ray Jr., Burner 420, and me, and that's pretty much. If I forgot anybody else, Alex. I don't know if you guys have got a chance to check out Alex yet, but I'll have to send you his page. Real cool story. But besides that, again, I hope
No, that was
buddy, but that's pretty
no,
much.
that was actually a full list of literally everyone we asked to be on before you. So that was pretty accurate, I think. So yeah,
Oh, my boy Alex
That was
is
good.
alive right now. He literally said, "Yeah, listen, he has a really good story. I've had an opportunity to talk to him a couple times. Like, I think you guys would really like him being on here for real."
For sure. You'll have to have him message us because I'm not sure I know who exactly you're talking about.
But yeah, no, I will for sure.
All right.
I feel like I do. I might, but yeah.
I'm sure
he's tatting all up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's
Yeah.
The first video I saw from him was the video, like, I forget what sound he used, but it was like his pictures from jail and now showing him now, right? And showing like the transformation, like it's from him doing, negative to positive. And I was like, oh shit, like I fuck with it. You know what I mean? So dropped a comment, followed me back. We started talking and stuff. Real solid dude for real. Like, I don't vouch for everybody. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah.
No,
like about it, like the people that, and it's funny, right? The people that are the prison TikTokers that are getting big are the ones that are sincere with it. They're not the ones that are just trying to get rich and roll out. You know what I mean? People can see through that shit.
Yeah.
You can see right through that shit. Like,
yeah, for sure. Well, and that's kind of the cool thing about, like, I think that's even how me and you met. I got tagged in one of your videos. And yeah, it's really cool that like we all get connected through this social media app that I don't think any of us took super seriously when we started it out.
No.
No.
You don't take it serious until you realize you have to. Like, and then you're like, oh, like,
all right.
It's a little terrifying at that point.
Yeah.
So my next question for you was, what about prison would you like want to change if you had the ability to change anything about our justice system or the prison system?
Them dumbass groups, they don't do nothing. Like, people go in those groups literally just to make parole. You know what I mean? They don't care about what they're talking about in there. Like, if you go in there with the open mind, like trying to hear what they're saying, but they're so dry. It's just them reading to you for 6 months. Like, do something more interactive that I can actually, like, okay, how am I going to put this forward going home? You might have someone that's sitting there, literally just fucking sitting there for 6 months, listening to everything, but they're not comprehending or taking it in. They're just listening so that they pass the group and go home.
Yeah.
Like, there's
nothing beneficial about it, you're saying?
No. Like, you have to listen. Prison does not rehabilitate anybody. You have to do it yourself. You know what I mean? You have to. If you want to change, you're gonna change. If you don't, prison's not gonna make you change. Like, I could have came out and done way worse shit than I went in with. But
yeah,
I
for sure.
decision, like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. Like, I don't want to do more years of my life.
Right.
Like,
yeah. That's a good one. That's a very good one, actually.
that's
So here's a question for you. And I mean, I think this is kind of one that all of us can kind of chime in on, I suppose.
Right.
I don't know about you, but I'm still trying to lose that fucking temper that I got. Like, I mean, there are some things that set me the fuck off with people.
Right.
Like, basically, like I've caught myself going off on people like in line at the grocery store. What did you find was kind of hardest to kind of reintegrate back into normal society with? Like, what were some trigger things for you?
Well, I still got a bit of a temper. I just don't. My temper is with weird things. Like, my biggest thing to like snap about is shitty drivers. Shitty drivers. Like, and that's not like, and I'm not one of them like, oh, I'm gonna tailgate you home. I'm like, it's happened 4 times since I've been home where I got to the red light and got out the car like, yo, what do you want to do? Like, for dumb shit. Like, and it's like, bro, that ain't the move. You know what I mean? Like, that ain't gonna get me nowhere. But like, it's just one of them things. Like, it's hard to let go. Like, people always like to think I get mad about these TikTok comments, right? I could give a damn less what you say. You know what I mean? Oh, well, you're a fucking dickhead for going. Cool. Yeah, I am a dickhead for going to prison. What do you mean? Like, you don't think I know that? I wrote
it's so funny
online all day, every day. You don't think I know everything you're about to tell me? People be like, he went to jail for robbing a store in 2011. Oh, you can read.
Don't you love it when they send you your paperwork? Like, yeah, dog, it's public record. Like, what are you?
Yeah, like,
what
bro,
are you? Like, what are you trying to say?
So many times.
Yeah.
We come back the other day. We're like, well, why don't you post your paperwork? Everybody knows you can post your paperwork. If you haven't, I said, yeah, I've done that like 7 times, bro. Rap sheet, news articles,
Yep.
pictures. Like, what do you want? The funniest ones be like, I don't know why you lie about going to prison. Like,
Dude, you deserve some sort of award for that. Like, you got pictures, you got the charges in the records. Like,
Right.
dude, if you're faking it, you're doing a hell of a job.
So listen, I told my homie the one time, right? I was like, yo, whenever I hit 2 million followers, right, what I'm gonna do is be like, okay, guys, so I'm gonna tell you guys my master plan. So when I was, 25, I was bored, not doing shit, and I see that there's this baseball player with the same name as me. So I'm like, oh shit, I can just kind of impersonate him. So I went, looked up this other person's name with the same thing. No recollection of who he is, found these news articles and just said that I'm hit, right? I was just gonna fuck with everybody and basically say everything's fake as fuck because it would be funny. Obviously, like, I didn't go and rent a studio to take pictures in prison in. Like, obviously it would have been a joke, but like, that's the type of shit that I always does well for me. Like, when I'm like, I don't know why I went to prison, blow this video up. Like, oh, this is just a like trap. No shit. You're asking me something, my answer every day. Why wouldn't I? Like, you're mad at me for, like, people be like, you only care about likes. No, I don't only care about likes, but like, I'm a creator. Of course I want likes on my videos. What else am I making videos for? To have people see it.
Yeah, exactly.
Get out there. You know what I mean? The more people that like it, the more times people are going to see it.
For sure.
That's fair.
You know? But
Are we really laggy? It seems like we're laggy. Is that a thing?
You're a little laggy, but it's all good. It is your turn for a question too.
Oh, it's my turn for a question?
Yeah, if you want. If not, I mean, no one cares what you want to ask anyways.
No. I'm totally used to carrying the show, so don't worry about it, man.
Oh,
You just sit back, do whatever the fuck it is you do, and I'll do the show. Thank
Okay.
you.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
No, actually, this one, this is kind of a two-part. One little story I don't think a lot of people know. A while ago, a couple months back, I went off the wagon and I disappeared for
Right.
a while. I had like a full-on breakdown, left home, went back to my old hood, started like pretty much kicking with the people I used to, and nobody could find me. And my boyfriend actually reached out to Colin because he knew that, we were cool when we talked. And Colin came through, man. I just wanted to say in a public forum, thanks for talking to my boyfriend during that time, dog. Like, for real. Like that touched me, man. I mean, you're a dumpster fire of a human being, but that one moment was a great moment, and I really do appreciate it.
No, man, listen, like, at the end of the day, like we're friends, you know what I mean? It don't matter if we're friends through the internet or if we're, like, a friend is a friend, you know what I mean? So when someone comes to me and like, hey, listen, someone that you're cool with, I like, this is what's going on. Like, obviously I'm far away. I can't do as much as I could if I was there, but like, I try to do my part at least, you know what I mean? That's what I would want a friend to do for me. Like, it's all about treating people how you want to be treated at the end of the day. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I appreciate it.
And it just honestly, like, it really helped keep my boyfriend kind of level, and it helped get me back. So I owe a lot to you, which leads me into the second question. You've been doing TikTok for a while. Obviously, it's not going very well. What is the next move for Colin Ray? Like, what are you going to do? Do you have any other marketable skill? No, like, what's next for you, dog? You doing YouTube now or what? So
right now, my biggest thing, obviously, like, y'all, hey, thanks, Beer Laws. That's my boy right there. He already knows. For real, great dude. I know you guys know him, but great dude, for real. But no, so like right now, obviously, like, I'm just like everybody else, still trying to grow and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because like you get to a point where like you're like, okay, like obviously, like I turned it from just being present into other stuff too. You know what I mean? I turned it into some inspirational, some me talking shit, some me playing sports. But with COVID, I can't really do sports like that anymore. So right now it's been mostly present or talking shit. But now I got some traction on YouTube, so I'm gonna start posting on there regularly because I can tell more stories, longer in-depth stories than I can on TikTok. TikTok, I get 60 seconds and then got a part to them. And I only do that if I absolutely have to, because you guys know I talk fast.
Yeah.
So most of the time I can get it in one part. If it's a long story, I can just post it on YouTube. You know what I mean? But I have a buddy. He's a producer for a show that's on Netflix coming out next year, and he wants to add me in as an extra role, with like a couple little like different things. So that's a door into that. You know what I mean? If I do well with, you don't know what the possibilities are, because the one thing that people don't realize is like because I talk about prison so much, is like sometimes I'm funny. You know what I mean? I can be funny.
Yeah.
I'm funny off camera. Cody came to see me. We were laughing the whole time.
Oh hell yeah!
You'll see that, don't worry. But
You'll see.
but the other thing is, think about it, right? And this is the same for you guys. The marketable skill that we have isn't the fact that we're funny or that we talk about a certain thing. It's the fact that we can grow organically on an app like this by just talking.
Yeah.
We're not dancing, we're not singing, we're not doing skits. Yeah, we might throw skits in there, but in a funny way, you know what I mean? But for the most part, like you guys see my videos, it's me just answering questions. So if I can gain a following off of just talking, that's a marketable thing that you can use, because there's a million doors you can go in with that. You know what I mean? And if it comes down to it, like say tomorrow, I'm like, you know what? I'm fucking tired of social media. You know what I mean? I'm done with this shit. Like, yeah, the money's good, but like, fuck it, right? I can still go back to work. I have certifications in carpentry. I can work in the warehouse, and people always knock the warehouse. The warehouses pay bread,
Yeah.
pay money because they're jobs. So like at the end of the day, like I've told myself before I came home, like I'm always gonna work hard. Like just because people, he's just making videos, like people don't realize how much goes into this. You know what I mean? Especially like, yeah, it might only take a couple seconds to make that video, but like there's so much more to it than that. You know what I mean? Like people don't realize, like when I talk shit to people, right? I might see the same comment 7 times, right? I pick and choose which one that I answer to out of that same, they say the same exact thing. I'd rather go to the person that has no followers, no nothing, because my followers are savages and they go and flame the fuck out of them on their videos. So then I'm like, oh shit, like they're gonna try to fucking ban me because I'm just using my, like I'm not even trying to do that. So I'll just go to somebody that has no videos up, private account, and say it, and then they'll be like, okay, well we don't got nothing to say. They just flame in my comments, cool. But like y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all be crazy. I comment back, oh, it's not even like that, and they go, fuck you. I'm like, damn, like y'all didn't have to go that deep with it, like.
That was like this week, Zach's followers coming for me because I was roasting them, and they couldn't handle the fact that a couple of those things were getting to him.
You didn't get to me. You didn't get to me. You got to them.
Not to you. Yeah, you don't give a fuck.
What you need to understand, and what both of y'all need to fathom here, is that as a member of the LGBTQ community, I do have an army of angry lesbians at my disposal at any given moment. Ain't no coming back from that.
Listen, I promise you this though. My 12-year-old followers go harder than your 12-year-old followers.
No doubt. Dude, most of your 12-year-old followers end up on my Wannabe Thug Wednesday. that portion that I do where I read off like these like, hey dog, what? Yeah, those are your followers. Those are all.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
Sure.
Close up for a second. You're good.
So I mean, that was when you were talking just now about Zach and all that other stuff. That brought me to thinking about the question I wanted to ask you earlier, which was, I've been seeing you post more about like mental health, depression, stuff like that. Is there a specific reason you started doing more of that, or is it just something you've always wanted to talk about and you never really felt comfortable?
For me?
Yeah.
Oh no, so I'm about to start my bad. So like when my account was smaller, they would never push that ever, and then they wouldn't push anything after it. So I was like, okay, like, but I would still post it. You know what I mean? But like sometimes I just get in my feelings. I'm like, you know what? Like, it's my page. I can post whatever I want, whether the video flops or not. I don't care. But if you do it in a way like in like not a funny way, but in a way that like can get like a chuckle out of somebody, and like be like, okay, like I don't know if you saw the one when I was on the plane and I was like, me happy for takeoff or something, and then me when we land safely, like people, it was me, you know what I mean? But it still brings it to the forefront. You know what I mean? People think just because you have followers or something, like all your like, oh, like we're still people, like we still going through stuff every day. You know what I mean? Yeah. I be stressed. I have anxiety. I have depression. You know what I mean? Like it happens. Like especially like people that have been to prison, like they don't just, especially after like a long period of time, they don't just come home on some like, oh, I'm perfectly, you know what I mean? Fine. Nothing, like, no, mental health is real in there. There's like 80% of people have mental health problems in prison. Like, it's a huge number. Like, and they don't get the help they need because, like where I was, I could have went up and be like, "Hey, listen, I'm not." They always do the same thing. I know people that would go and be like, "I have anxiety." Next thing you know, they're in Thorazine.
Yeah.
or on lithium.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
what? Like, no, like you're not about to just give me whatever and tell me that I need it, like, because then next thing you know, you're all fucked up. Like, no.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, and that was like my whole thing too, because I've talked about how I knew that I had an issue when I went to jail, but I didn't get diagnosed until after I got out. And
Right.
part of that was I tried to talk to COs and to the nurses they have there. They're not in a position to diagnose schizophrenia or even medicate someone for schizophrenia. So it's like, how does someone who's really struggling deal with being in jail or prison? And we did talk about it a little bit last week, where I feel like no one messed with me because they knew I was struggling.
Right.
But still, it's like being in there and being in a mental state like that. I remember I got put in solitary confinement for 2 days. And with my mental health, it was literally the worst experience I can think of, because I mean, I wasn't alone, but that doesn't make it better.
Right.
Honestly, I can't even imagine that for you, dog. I did my bit in the hole, but I mean, like, I can't stand being in a room with you for an hour a week, Cody. I can't even imagine what that would be like for 2 days.
Yeah.
But yeah. The weird thing about TikTok and the shitty thing in some aspects is, like, if you are and we talked about this before, if you're in a niche and you have content that's relevant or like should be, and you try to step out of that, even like in a small way, like people will come like right into your comments and be like, why don't you stick to your shit, dog? Like, make us laugh, funny man.
Right.
Like, why don't you go back to doing this? I hate that.
Right. Well, which is why I got lucky in the summertime, because I had always posted like a little bit of basketball here and there. But like when I started posting basketball a lot was right when my account really started taking off. So now I still have comments every day like, hey, like, where is the basketball? And it's like, hey, like, it's winter here. In California, they have straight locks, like bar locks over the hoops, so you can't play. Like, there's nowhere to play unless I buy a hoop, and I don't have anywhere to put it. So it's like, I can't really play ball like that. Like, I might go out in the snow and play and be like, okay, y'all want some fucking basketball content? Well, here the fuck it is. And then they're gonna be like, I'm literally gonna shoot it. If it misses, it's gonna land in the snow, and I'll be like, you see why it's not fun? Right. But that's all.
You see what you did.
Like,
no, yeah, for real. I mean, I think we all feel that pain to some degree. I mean, like, for me, like, I've worked in sports nutrition for a while, ever since I've been out. It's my job. And one of the things that nobody knows about my job is I specifically work with people who are trans and on testosterone and training them. So like, I would love to talk about that. Like, I'd love to talk about that shit. Really would. But anytime, like, I even post something remotely about that topic, like, I get like 20 to 30 comments within the first 10 minutes. Like, this isn't a prison story. This isn't why I follow you. So it's rough, man. So, yeah.
Well, and Colin, I've talked to Colin a little bit about this. I'm sure I've talked to you about it too, Zach. I love being a mental health advocate and being able to talk about schizophrenia, but I do have that aspect with my nonprofit, and with me also being a felon and all that, where unless I'm tying it to my mental health or my schizophrenia, even my prison TikToks or my, incarceration TikToks, my story times about that, they don't do super well, which is disappointing, because there has been times where my account was relevant to that side of TikTok. And once I got back into mental health, like full time, it's really hard to get views on those videos, but it's difficult to like realize that you're kind of stuck in a niche. And like when you try to step out of it, they're basically just like, no, stop that shit.
No, you're right though.
Well, it must be. It's additionally tough for you, Cody, because I mean, not only do you have such a specific niche, like you have schizophrenia as a diagnosed. What? I'm giving you a compliment. You have schizophrenia
sorry.
as a
That's unexpected.
No, you have schizophrenia as a specific diagnosis, so you have like a built-in audience. And the problem with that is you don't have the benefit of stepping outside of that because you're so ugly. Like me and Colin, we're attractive, so we have this, like, people see us on the For You page and they're like, damn, all right, okay, I don't know what he's about, but I'll follow him. For you, you gotta reel him in. So that's rough.
Yeah, that is rough. Thank you for that, Zach. By the way, how does it feel to be in Colin's shadow? Like, do people see you in the shadow, or do you have to like step out from behind him? Or
that's why I get wider. So they can see me behind Colin.
But for real, I mean, I think that's how we all kind of got tied together, because we all are able to like really find interesting parts of the worst parts of our life, because
Right.
it's something that, like, for all of us, some of our worst times are the best videos that we have on TikTok.
Yeah.
And I know that especially for me, I know I've seen some of your guys' even blow up talking about some of the worst things we've ever been through.
Let me
That's
ask
a
you
little rough on its own. Yeah.
Let me ask you all
Go
a
ahead.
question. I'm getting a call from a fucking 800 number. I hate when they fucking call me. Stop calling me. Cody, what's your biggest video? What were you talking about?
So, I mean, my biggest video was talking about a schizophrenic episode I had where I was in college, and I was talking to someone in the library, and this little librarian came up and basically was super freaked out. And she's like, who are you talking to? And when I looked back over, no one was there. And I started to notice everyone around me was staring at me. And it was so embarrassing. I didn't go back to school for like a week. I fell behind. And like, I know it doesn't sound like a big deal, but that was one of those moments where I realized, like, yeah, I'm medicated. I'm treating my schizophrenia, but I'm still not normal. And that's one of my biggest videos. And like, I have a lot of them where like I talk about my toughest times with schizophrenia, and those are my biggest videos. And I don't mind sharing that, but it sucks that, you know, we have to share those really intimate stories just to be able to, like, you know, have people better understand prison or mental health.
Yeah. What about you, Zach?
The first one I ever did, I actually took it down because I got so sick and tired of reliving it. I saw this is in county. I saw a DO get murked. He was picking on the wrong inmate, and he straight up killed the guy. And it was somewhat recent too. And I had like 300 followers at that time, so I didn't think anything of it. I woke up the next day to like 20,000 followers from talking about that. And I mean, fortunately, I was able to grow from that. But I got so tired of talking about that over and over again that really it was a lesson learned that, one, when you put something out there and you're in an environment where people are going to ask you questions, they ain't going to hold nothing back with asking questions.
Right. Oh no, at all.
They're just they're just gonna be like, hey, so what's like? Can you relive this trauma for me? You know, like, sure, dog, no worries. You know, like,
right. It's crazy because the biggest video I have now is, and it just was like 2 months ago, was talking about a pedophile getting killed. That was my first video I ever had. The only video I have that ever went over 1 million likes. Yeah. And it's funny because like, people know that I obviously, like, I got very big this year. People don't realize I was on TikTok last year, and my account originally started blowing up off that video, me surprising my mom. And then after that, do you know what I did? Do you know what my content was that people started following me for? If you get pulled over and doing something illegal, do this and you won't get in trouble.
Yeah.
And those videos blew up. I had a series of like 10 of them, all over 1 million. And then my account got hacked, lost all my videos. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to just start talking about prison more. Fuck it. And that's when kind of everything changed, you know? But like, it's just funny. Like, it's always the shit that you talk about, like, you don't think is going to blow up. Like, every once in a while you might post something like, okay, I know this is going to get big. But then sometimes you post something, you know, put some effort into it and it doesn't do shit. Sometimes you just talk some dumb shit. Like, before that video, the biggest video I had was somebody, wait, so what did he go to jail for? Listen, I don't talk about it. I'm just not comfortable with this psych. Robbery. I was drunk as shit. Went inside to get my mom another glass of wine because we were sitting on the porch chilling because it was summertime. Made that video just on some like whatever. I got fucking 15 seconds real quick, and it went viral overnight. Like, it's always the shit you don't expect, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
It is weird how that works, man. It's crazy how that works. Well, I mean, especially for Cody, because I mean, Cody, do you ever put work into your videos? Is that a thing for you?
Yeah, you know, sometimes it's pretty rare, but it happens. But we'll see. What does that even mean? But I was gonna say, even with you, Colin, one of the first videos I saw of yours was you seeing your mom out of prison for the first time. Tearjerker, you know, and like, yeah, it's a happy moment, but there's a lot behind that like, when you see that video, it's not just like, oh, that's so happy. There's a lot behind something like that.
And what's funny about it is everybody was like, half the comments were like, because I captioned it, when originally I captioned it like, hey, just did 7 years in prison surprising my mom. You know what I mean? That's what the video is. You know what I mean? Because I wasn't doing TikTok. And then most of the comments were very supportive. You know what I mean? The rest were asking what I did. The rest were like, huh, funny. First thing he does out of jail is make a TikTok. Like, bitch, listen, I posted this in August. I came home in February. I didn't even know what the fuck TikTok was. I said, we planned to surprise my mom. I had my sister ready to record it because I wanted to capture that, just the pure joy, like the happiest moment I was going to have up to in 25 years. That was the happiest moment I had.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So why would I not want to be able to relive that whenever I want? Which is why I repost that video as much as I want. I'll repost that video until I'm done on social media.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it makes me happy. Like, why wouldn't I? You know what I mean? It's my page. I post whatever I want.
I think the really crazy thing about I think a COVID had a lot to do with it.
Can I interrupt?
Yeah.
We can talk and check somebody in my live stream. Listen, okay? I don't do drugs. It's hot as shit in here, and I'm wearing a sweater, okay? Next time you want to make a little, he doing this, he doing that, right? Jump the fuck out my shit, okay? I know how to rumble. Fuck out of here. Okay? I don't need to tell y'all nothing. I don't do shit. I drink. Okay? I had one drink. Hop off my nuts. Go ahead, ban me off a live stream. I don't give a fuck. Continue.
Real quick, are we supposed to not be on drugs? Because I thought I got different directions.
No, they always do that. They always do that because, like, they know that, one, I don't do drugs because that's going to harbor what I'm trying to do going forward. Like, I can eat whatever the fuck I want, but, like, what am I? No, I did drugs. No. I don't need that shit. Like, I drink.
Trust me, I
fucking dickheads like that shit.
I get similar comments all the time. Like if I look remotely tired or if my eyes are red, and people are like, "Oh my god, did you relapse again?" It's like, first of all, only thing I'm on is a jack shit of steroids. Other than that, I'm clean as hell. But no,
they forget the part where I get drug tested. Like they forget the fact that I get
like
the fuck, like.
But it kind of ties in with what I was saying. People tend to forget that we're actually humans, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Like we're real people with actual feelings. And all of us, Colin obviously is larger than us, but we're big creators and we are very vulnerable to strangers. Right. Millions of them daily we're vulnerable to them. And I don't think if people kind of step outside of their little app and realize that they're like saying shit to a human, I think it'd be a little different. But yeah.
Right. I just flipped them off at the end of the live. I'm tired of them.
But yeah. Well, and I think there's like a lot that goes into being a creator people don't consider. Like even I didn't consider until you get a little bit bigger on social media, you know? Like I get death threats on a weekly basis for stupid stuff. And I really think people forget that we're just like normal people.
Did I tell you that I had someone try to pull up to my house? Did I tell you about that?
Really?
No.
For real. So this guy sent me this DM and he was just like, "Hey, Punk, I found your records." I'm like, "Yeah, you Googled my name. Fucking congrats." You know, and then it was like, I found, where you're located. I'm like, "All right, cool. What's my address?" And then he's like, "Boom, it's right there." So I'm like, "All right, cool. Pull up. How do you think this is going to play out? How do you think this is going to play out for you? What is your end game? Like nothing good's going to happen." And I went outside. He didn't show up, but he knew where I was the first time. And I only had like maybe 90,000 followers at that time. But that was the first time it really clicked with me that when you're out there like that and when you're putting yourself out there, like people can do some crazy shit, man. People do wild shit.
Well, I got another interesting question because I was wondering this because you did way more time than I did, Colin. But when I first got out, I had a hard time adjusting to real beds. And I know this is a weird question, but after sleeping on that metal fucking cot and a 1.5 inch thick pad, did you find it tough to like sleep in a normal bed or were you pumped? I've heard people be like, "Oh, the first thing I did was go get in a real bed." But man, it was so difficult for me. I could not sleep.
I couldn't sleep at all. I have literally, when I say the hardest, firmest mattress that they probably sell in the world because it makes my back feel normal. I sleep on a bed that's soft. My shit is fucked the next day.
Yep, exactly.
Like it's my body got used to sleeping on that metal. Like when I left, I wasn't even uncomfortable anymore.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't uncomfortable until I got like.
What about you, Zach? Did you get used to it or were you one of those people who you got out and you're like, "I just want a soft bed to sleep on"?
I slept on the floor for the first 2 or 3 nights, and then I went to the couch, I probably wasn't in a bed until legitimately probably like a couple months, to be honest.
Yeah.
So yeah, same story. But I mean, and like even now, you know, it's kind of weird sleeping in a bed, but that's just because my back is so sore from carrying your ass on the show for so long.
Yeah, I could see that, you know, putting in minimal effort and showing up. I can see how that would be a lot of work.
Yeah, and looking so goddamn good doing it.
That's true. So the second part to this question is when you woke up in jail, did you ever have that moment where you forgot you were in jail or prison? Like I had that for like the first 6 months. Every day I woke up, there would be like a brief second where I'm like, okay, waking up, shit, I'm still here. Did either of you guys have to go through that?
So my biggest thing was like I've always been like a big dreamer as far as like when I'm asleep, like I've dreamed vividly and I remember it when I wake up.
Yeah.
And I'd always have dreams that I was home, right? And I'd be like running around doing this, doing that. It'd be like my first day home, and people would always ask me like, "Damn, like, bro, like it's crazy you're home. Like, how long did you do?" I was like, "Oh, I did 7 years." And they'd be like, "Damn, like I thought you got booked in 2011." I'd be like, "I did." They're like, "Dude, it's 2015. You're not home yet." And then I'd wake up and be like, "Fucking bitch!" Like like. And then I might get like 5 more minutes in the dream, and then I just act reckless as shit because I know I'm about to wake up. It happens a lot more now of me waking up thinking I'm in jail than the other way around.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I still get these dreams sometimes, man, where like my PO will come to the door and, you know, like I'll answer the door and she'll just be like, "Look, we're taking you in." You know, like I have no idea why. I don't even do anything that she knows about. So like it's just weird to keep having those over and over again. But the weird thing for me was when I was in, I mean, drugs was a lot bigger part of my story than either of your guys's. I mean, I was selling heroin, I was on heroin, I was, you know, I mean, what I got caught with a lot, dog. Like straight up, it was a hefty amount. So the first month was just me going through withdrawals, just sweating bullets, puking. And then like months after that was just every night I was dreaming I was doing drugs. And it got to the point where I didn't even want to do drugs anymore. And I'm still dreaming about that shit. I hated that. Oh my God, I hate that. Yeah. That was so bad. Do not want.
All right. I got one more question for you. I think Zach had another one too, though. Did you want to go first or should I ask mine?
What the hell would make you think I had another question?
I'm sorry, I forgot. I was thinking you were prepared. I forgot that's not how this dynamic works.
Zach Galloway, have we met? Have we met?
Have we met? Yeah, my bad. I forgot, man. So my last question for you, and I know some people have asked you this on TikTok. I don't remember the exact answer though. What was your favorite day in prison? And it could be for whatever happened that day. Was it release day? Was it, you know, just what was your favorite day while you were in?
I mean, of course, getting out is always the best day, but as far as like, I'm not going to count that. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's a whole separate thing. That wasn't a day that I spent entirely in jail. You know what I mean? I spent about 8 hours until 8:15 in the morning, then left. It was Christmas 2015. I think 2015. I called my mom and we were just talking and shit. And like they do extended visits for holidays out there, like from like right before Thanksgiving to like after New Year's, they do extended visits. So like normally visits are from like 8 a.m. to like 4, but on those it's like 8 a.m. to like 8 p.m. or something, right?
Yeah.
So I called my mom, talking to her. I was like, she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, you gotta be here by yourself." I was like, "Listen, like I've been here by myself for years already. Like I'm not tripping. You know what I mean? Like I'm fine." It was 2016, matter of fact. And I'm like, you know what I mean? Whatever. And go out the yard, come back in. It's count time. We count, and now I'm waiting for dinner. It's like 5 o'clock. They call me for a visit. I'm like, what the fuck? So I go out, and mind you, they don't tell you who's there until like they walk into the visit room. Like they'll be there when you get out there. So I walk out. It's my mom, my sister. So I'm like, "What are you guys doing?" They're like, "Oh, well, the food was going to take 3 hours. Like, it's an hour drive here. We can stay for an hour drive home hour." I was like, I just started crying because, like, I'm a little bitch and fucking, you know, like, but like, it was like, damn, like, I didn't have to do that. You know what I mean? Like, my mom always thought of me, like, throughout, like, the whole time. Like, and that was probably, that was definitely, like, my best day while I was booked.
That's awesome, man.
For sure.
That's cool, man. That's really cool.
Well, we
I
are.
like that answer.
We are within the last 10 minutes here. So if it's cool with you, Colin, what we usually do is open up questions to some of the people who are watching live. So if you guys have any questions or comments, let us know. And yeah, I do appreciate you coming on, man. I'm sure we'll ask you to come back in the future, just
of course,
because me and you are so close, and Zach is, has no say.
You know what's crazy? Me and Zach have been cool for so long, and he still never gave me his cell phone number. None.
Oh damn!
But you know what?
Out.
I'd be going on a limb here, Zach. But if I'm willing to bet, you have an Android, don't you?
No, sir. I have what was it called again? Apple, right? Yeah, I have an Apple. I have an iPhone.
iPhone? Okay, my bad, boy.
Yeah. Hey, man, I snapped you. You didn't snap me back. It was a very loving snap, too. I called you a fucking nerd, I think.
I gave him your Snapchat, so he definitely
did. Snapchat?
I gave him your new one, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Check it out.
It's not here. I looked through all my ads. I don't have it. I'll get it from you.
So,
all right, yeah.
Someone asked, how many views for Colin to get the WAP for the robbery WAP?
So what's that? Is that robbery? Is that in a jumpsuit?
Oh yeah, there you go. For you to do it in a jumpsuit.
Listen, if they go comment that on my video, right now, I'll make the video. If it gets to, I'm gonna say like 1 million. If it gets to 1 million, I'll do it in a jumpsuit.
Okay, awesome.
Wait, why 1 million? Why 1 million? Why not 2? Because I want to see this. It could be my Hanukkah present.
2 million?
No,
all right,
2 views.
No,
2 views.
No. I was just saying, and it can't be 2 likes because I'm always the first person to like my video. If I don't like my video first, then like, what's the point of me posting a video if I don't like it myself? You know?
Yeah.
Fair.
All right. So here's another one, and this one is asking how we all met, which it's different because I met Colin quite a while ago. We all met on TikTok. Let's just get that out of the way. But I personally was able to go out and meet Colin. What month did I come out? Was that October? September?
October, because wasn't it right before I went to California?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Or was it right when I came? Yeah, right before I went. So yeah, it was October, mid-October.
Yeah.
We went to Hershey Park. That was a fun weekend. Went and got tattoos. We had a good time.
Our TikTok tattoos. We got matching TikTok tattoos. Yeah, boy.
Where's your Zach?
Zach is super jealous.
Man, and in my experience, when a group of white men who have all been to jail get matching tattoos, nothing good happens. So,
I actually
just gonna shy away from that.
Funny story, right? These tattoos I have right here on my leg, we were testing right there to see if I would let them tattoo me. You know what I mean? So based off of that, fuck no. You know what I mean? But I still it actually turned out very well. But then he was like, yo, tattoo me. I was like, bro, I never tattooed before. He's like, no, you can just test on me. I was like, well, what am I testing? He's like, just do the same shit. So me and my homie from jail actually.
So this person asked if we would ever consider do like a counseling conference. And I know all 3 of us at one point have talked about doing like motivational speaking. I don't know necessarily counseling, but like motivational speaking is something that I know all 3 of us have talked about. It's something that I was actively doing before coronavirus.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be
Listen,
that.
that's what I'm trying to get to. You guys already know. You know what I mean? That's why I'd love to like this, right? There's like we have fun, but it's informative. You learn things. You know what I mean? Like that's what it's about. It's about trying to. We're not going to fix the system overnight. We're probably never going to be able to actually fix the system completely.
Yeah.
It's just reality is probably not going to happen, but we can do our part. You know what I mean? To help people not be in the system to begin with.
For sure.
Fucked if there's nobody in it. There'll always be people in it, but if we can stop people, that's why I said earlier, they're like, oh, your views are down. I was like, I don't care as long as the right person hears my message.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
Like if I stop someone being like, oh damn, he did a lot of time for that same thing I'm about to go do. Nah, I'll just shoplift instead. Yeah, it's not any better, but it is better. You know what I mean? Like steal a bag.
It's a little better.
It's a little better. You know,
it's a little better.
You know when they be like crime is crime. No, it's not. Crime is not crime. Like
yeah,
crime is crime is not pain. Like stop that.
Well, and that's a whole nother conversation too, because like what we all have as goals as people who are like ex-convicts, I'm sure like we could think of 10,000 things that need to be changed and a million people that could be helped to avoid those situations. But if we can make one change as like create people just starting the conversation, I think we already accomplished something, you know?
Right.
Not only that, but I think really, I mean, like, because I'm sure all you guys get DMs the same way I do from people who have been locked up, who just got out, and they're looking at people like us who are now doing positive stuff. I mean, we've all experienced a pretty decent measure of success for people that society literally at one point said, we want no part of you.
Right.
And, you know, now we're actually in a forum where we get to do positive things. We get to share our stories. And that to me is the really cool part, because there's people now going like, man, I got nothing going for me. This world don't want me, man. Here we are, 3 moderately attractive guys, except for Cody, that are really, you know, well received by an environment in the community. And I think that's uplifting.
Before we ask this last questions, I just want to point out that before he backpedaled, he said 3 moderately attractive, which means deep down inside, Zach does believe that I'm attractive. Good trying to cover it up though, buddy.
it's just because of the eyes, and that my boyfriend does have a crush on you. That's the only
there you go. That's all I needed. I just needed to hear that. So this one would be probably better for you two to answer, because I know people are wondering this about you, Zach, but Colin, I don't think I've ever heard you answer this question. Do any of your former prison mates know about your success on social media or TikTok?
So I told a couple of my buddies about it. You know, they didn't understand what it was or anything. But the reason now that every single person in the prison that I left from knows is because the counselors up there printed out pictures of my page and posted them and said, he was here a year ago. He was here a year ago, right where you are. And look what he's doing. Why can't you do it? As a motivation thing for them. And now people literally like, I'll get fucking calls from people that be like, yo, what's up? Yo, I heard you had a video just hit 2. Like, how you know I just had a video hit 2 million views? Like, how you know that? Like, they literally at one point in the therapeutic community, which is like the inpatient rehab group, they brought them into the room where they do their meeting, and on the computer, because they have access to that because they're the counselors, played some of my videos for them to show them. Like, and people were like, a couple of my buddies that I was in that group with work on the block still, and they're like, yeah, they showed your video. Like, so like they all know, like, and it's still like to them, they're still like, bro, what the fuck? Like, how? Like, and I'm like, man, listen, I don't fucking know either.
That's pretty crazy. I didn't know all that.
I've got a similar story. My page and picture is actually up at the detective precinct where they worked my case and took me in.
Hell yeah!
And it was kind of funny. Like I said, I talked to the detective who arrested me, and he's like, "Man, like we love your shit in here. It's hilarious." And I'm like, "That is concerning, dog. That is really concerning." But yeah, so I haven't had any of my former inmates, but I've written them all and told them, but they don't understand what TikTok is. They have no idea.
Right. Well, like, it's funny because the basketball tournament I ran in August, fucking, we were there and we had like hella people pulling up. And right before that, dude was talking all that shit. And I was like, listen, dude, if you got a problem, this is where I'm at. You can come meet me this day here and I'll be there. 2 million views. Not a damn person showed up on it, any problem. Right. And whatever. Cops pulled up like a half hour before we started the tournament. So I come over, I'm like, yo, like, is everything good? Because I was the one running it. So I'm not scared of the cops. I'll go right, like, I'm not doing anything wrong. Like, yo, what's up? Like, y'all just sitting here for no reason or what? They're like, oh no, we just saw your video about you dropping the address for here. So we just were seeing if you guys were just playing ball, if anything was gonna happen.
That is awesome.
We're just fans. We're just fans.
We're just fans.
Got pulled over. Cop knew who I was, gave me a lesser ticket.
That's pretty awesome. See, there's perks for sure. All right, we are getting into our last 2 minutes here. I just wanted to thank everyone for coming out. And just a reminder, me and Zach are having a competition right now. If anyone wants to possibly have their logo used for our podcast, we're looking for someone to create a logo. If you want to possibly win some merch, some money, a chance to be mentioned on the show, just create a video. Yeah, no, not Cody's nudes. Just create a video on TikTok, tag us and the Criminally Mental Podcast, and show us some cool designs that you might have. And we would love to be able to use one of them, and we will be announcing the winner next week. So, and I just wanted to thank Colin again for being in here. Zach, thank you for showing up for whatever reason.
I did my best.
And yeah, did you have any last words, either of you guys?
Colin?
Just thank y'all for having me on. You guys know I appreciate it. You know what I mean? I fuck with both of you. You guys know that. Like, we have our fun going back and forth, but you guys know you're my homies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, whenever I was just in Arizona, like, I didn't have my own ride to be able to just come out because you were only like an hour away. I didn't have my car out there. It was like, fuck. Like, but I'll still be back out there. Like, you know, we'll definitely all get together at some point. You know what I mean? We'll fucking do something. But like, I appreciate you guys. You guys already know.
Thanks, man.
For sure, man. Thanks for coming on, man. Honestly,
Of course. Listen, and anytime y'all want me to come back, just even if it's just to pop in for a little bit and chill, say what's up, fucking ask me something different, like whatever. Like I'm down. Like just give me, you know what I mean? Let me know. Like,
well, let's not get out of hand, Colin. But yeah.
It was hard enough to convince them to bring you on this time.
All right, say goodnight, Cody.
All right. And just before we go here, wishing Zach a congratulations on his 1 year release anniversary. Seriously, congrats to you, man.
yeah, for real, bro. I was muted backstage whenever you said that. That's fucking awesome. I'm glad to hear that, man.
Thank you
Fucking-
guys. I really do appreciate it.
And listen, like, and I know you know just as well as I do that whenever they look at recidivism after that first year, it goes down a hell of a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Numbers,
Yeah.
and we're breaking that mold regardless, but it's always a positive thing to see that the numbers are in our favor.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys. Absolutely.
Of course.
And
Next-
thank you all for joining us.
18 months is the next milestone. Let's go.
There you go, man.
Do it.
Thank you guys so much for joining us here at the Criminally Mental Podcast, and we hope to see you next week.